I really liked the Harry Potter books growing up. I fell in love with the world building that author and famous humanitarian Just Kidding Rowling created. I really like what she did. I was hooked from the very first book. I don't know if you guys are like me, but when I read a book, like I envision the characters a certain way, and like that's the way I see them for the rest of the story. For example, for 7 books straight, I thought her name was Hermione. That's the way it's spelled. It's spelled Hermione. I ain't never heard the name Hermione before in my life. So I was surprised when the books were turned into movies. They cast Emma Watson, and they kept saying Hermione. I was even more surprised when the side character, Kingsley Shacklebolt, was a black guy. Sometimes I read too fast. Sometimes I mix context or descriptors or something like that. But why is one of the few black characters that show up on screen called Shacklebolt? That's an interesting choice, Joan. And people been quoting Michael Richards since the TV show casting as well. Sometimes what you read on the page might be interpreted differently when put on the big screen.
Message.
So fast forward some time. I was scrolling through Twitter and somebody was asking for a Harry Potter type book, but for black people. Sounds interesting. I don't remember the original response that I saw, but it was something like this tweet.
Children of Blood and Bone and Children of Virtue and Vengeance. The 3rd book will be out this summer. It's like Black Panther meets Harry Potter, based off West African mythology.
I'm sold.
So Children of Blood and Bone is about a woman named Zelly that tries to bring magic back into her world after it's been suppressed by the royal family. The book deals with real world themes such as colorism and police brutality, but also has fantasy elements like being able to communicate with the dead and control fire, etc., etc. A lot of inspiration behind the world building is from like West African mythology and Yoruba culture, the Yoruba people being like primarily from Nigeria and stuff. The author of the Blood and Bone series is Tomi Adeyemi. Last year I went to New York Comic Con. When I was over there, I heard that the author of Blood and Bone would be doing a book signing, so I figured, alright, I heard of the book, I wanted to get back into reading, so I'll just buy the book there and get it signed. I'm already here, I never even looked up what the author looked like, so I'm on this long line waiting to get my book signed. I'm realizing why the line is taking so long, because it looks like the author stepped away and there was an absolute joint sitting in her spot. That happened to me to author Tomi Adeyemi. I ain't know authors came in baddie. My fault. I've been reading the wrong books. But anyway, she's much more than that. She was very nice and charismatic. Everyone that walked up to her seemed to leave with a big smile on their face. She felt like an exception to the rule, don't meet your heroes. The book itself grabs you right away, immersing you in the fictional world of Orisha. I'm not gonna lie, I had to have the Google tab open to look up some of the Yoruba words used in the first couple pages, but it was still pretty good. I learned a lot and enjoyed what I read. I could understand why the line was so long and why it sold so many books. And apparently Paramount could as well, because they signed a 7-figure deal to bring the first book to the movie theaters. The Children of Blood and Bone movie reportedly has a star-studded cast. You got Idris Elba, my boy played Stringer Bell. You got Cynthia Erivo, Elphaba. We all watch Wicked, I think. You got
I am Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Children of Men is one of my favorite movies, man. And we had Backrooms. I seen that in theaters. That was fire. Damson Idris, my boy Franklin Saint, Brick by Brick. You got the Viola Davis. You know her as Michelle Obama. You know what I'm talking about. Some big names in cinema. Amandla Stenberg. More on her later. Side note, whenever I hear so many big names attached to a project, I always think, well, there goes the budget. Movie about to be trash. Foreshadowing maybe? I don't know yet. Either way, the cast is stacked, but the casting has sparked some outrage. So apparently, since the book is heavily inspired by West African Nigerian culture, many fans, they wanted more Nigerian-born actors or Nigerian-born representation within the lead roles. I hope Children of Blood and Bone has an all-Nigerian cast. I think I'm more disappointed with none of the female leads being played by Nigerian actresses in Children of Blood and Bone than Amara being played by someone of a fair skin tone. I totally get it. You have a movie inspired by your people, you want to hire some people from that area. You know what I mean? It reminds me of the movies like Gods of Egypt. A movie featuring Egyptian gods played by some of the whitest people in cinema. People are definitely mad about the whitewashing in this movie. I think whoever was responsible for the casting of Children of Blood and Bone thought, well, at least they're black. Close enough.
We are sisters. My people are your people.
Which people?
Black people. I'm a black person. Deep down, we are all black.
I also get that you kind of can't pass up on an opportunity to have such a star-studded cast. Getting big-name actors to sign up for something like that is a feat in itself. To put it as a sports analogy, it reminds me of when the Nets got James Harden, Kyrie, and KD on one team. That much talent on one team, man, they gotta be destined for greatness. Right? Foreshadowing again? I don't know. But just like the Nets, when you have an opportunity to cast an all-star group of people, don't you take it? Well, let's get back to Amandla Stenberg. When a lot of us think of Rue, a lot of us non-heathens think of Amandla's character from the first Hunger Games movie. I mean, many of you may remember from Disney Plus's The Acolyte. Or not, I don't know, since nobody watched it. I did, I liked it. Now, the casting of Amandla in this movie, caused a bit of a commotion. See, Amandla was cast as the character Amari, who was often chastised by her mother in the book for being a little bit too dark. So you can kind of see why this casting rubbed people the wrong way. To give Amandla some bail, the industry does complexion swap from time to time. Should an actor forego an opportunity to pay their bills because of it?
Well, yes, probably.
Unfortunately for Amandla, her name comes up in a lot of colorism debates. She was once cast as a character that is canonically dark-skinned in the movie Hate You Give, based on a book of the same name. This bothered people for many reasons. Some people are mad because there's just like so few lead roles for dark-skinned women. Others are mad because the message of the movie didn't hit as hard because Amandla is light-skinned. Some people allegedly felt like Amandla was going back to taking roles from dark-skinned women when she signed up for Children of Blood and Bone. Amandla has something to say about her being cast to play Amari.
Now, the first time that Amari is described in the book, the way that I interpreted this when I read it was this is an incredibly colorist society that these royals exist in, and Amari's mother is lighter than her, comparatively. I think I read it that way because of language that I kept reading afterwards also, like, the girl's copper skin and thick robes scream of noble blood. She's also described as having oak brown skin, and in descriptions of characters with oak brown skin stands out against the darker chestnut and mahogany hues of the villagers. So I felt like I could read myself in that language.
I mean, was the description she was using a bit of a stretch? Is there some type of confusion with the way Amari was described in the book versus the artwork? I'll take this back to Harry Potter. Hermione's description in the first book didn't mention her skin color, just that she had brown eyes and frizzy hair. Her description made it sound like she could have been played by anyone. Even in the Harry Potter Cursed Child play, the woman that plays adult Hermione Granger is black. But the artwork for the book shows her as a white girl, so While the casting may be a little confusing, Amandla goes on to say that the author of Blood and Bone, Tomi Adeyemi, wanted her for that role.
And then I had the opportunity to meet Tomi, the novelist, for the first time. And we met up for dinner. First off, she's gorgeous and incredible. You would just be shook meeting her point blank, period. But then she goes, Amandla, I want you to know that when you were a little girl and you were cast as Rue in the Hunger Games and you had these racist remarks thrown at you because people said that Rue's death wouldn't be as sad because you're a black girl, that inspired me to write this series so that black girls like you and black girls of all shades could have a story written about them. I said, Tomi, don't do that to me, girl. Don't do that to me. And we looked into each other's eyes and we started crying.
So if the author is cool with Amandla playing Amari, I guess this is an open and shut case. What the hell just happened? I follow Tomi Adeyemi on Instagram and I didn't see this coming at all. Sure, I've seen her promoting her new book, The Siren and all, but I didn't think anything of it.
Even though I never agreed with Amandla Stenberg being cast in a role for a character with dark-skin colorism, I also don't like how Tomi Adeyemi is trying to use Amandla as her scapegoat and the reason for this failure. No, this is your mess.
Now there's a thing that happens on the internet. Whenever someone takes a hit, bystanders seem to love to jump in so they can get their licks in as well. Colorism is so crazy though. The people mad at light-skinned Amandla for allegedly taking a dark-skinned woman's role are now defending her against a darker-skinned real-life Tomi Adeyemi, the author of the book the movie is based on. I can't really say that as colorism, but it's just a wild optic to see. It felt like yesterday Tomi was on the movie set having a grand old time. People were excited to watch this movie, so where did this all go wrong? Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know who y'all think is to blame for all this stuff. We watching this in theaters? We wearing dashikis and kente cloth like Black Panther? Let me know. Thanks for watching.